Health Coach Burr here. This is the third part in the autoimmune series. And again, the reason why I'm doing this is I recently was diagnosed with some autoimmune thyroid. So I embarked on my own journey to explore it. I'd already had a lot of information on it, and I'd already done an autoimmune protocol. So I had the tools, I had the understanding, but this time I went full on. I was 90 days, 3 months of dietary pieces, not to mention I had to make some other shifts because not only was my thyroid out of whack, my adrenals were. So I had to really be mindful of that and the diet and lifestyle shifts that I made. So what led me to that was I 25 years of drinking stepped into a space of then all of a sudden being like almost unhealthy about my health. Orthorexia is what they call that, this obsessive kind of layer. I when I quit drinking, it just the timing of it, I was in Bowman College learning nutrition. So I went from like the polar opposite to what I was doing into like all of a sudden eating 12 to 15 servings of fruits and vegetables a day and all this fiber, and my gut was just, oh man, my gut was not happy. But just think 25 years of drinking hard plus processed foods, my gut was in a terrible spot. So then all of a sudden I'm flipping it's on its head and doing all this healthy and then adding all these other hard to digest foods. And then that led me into the next phase of exploring intermittent fasting and then exploring keto and then carnivore. And most recent, I was probably closest to carnivore, high protein, animal based is what I call it, adding fruit. So more higher in the animal foods than anything else. And lo and behold, for 2 years, I knew I wasn't feeling well. So I found the people necessary to help me discover. As I was going to conventional medicine, they said I was fine. I was fine. I was fine. And I knew that I wasn't. And now I'm etching my way back to feeling the way that I know that I'm supposed to feel. I do. And I feel great right now. Today, I feel really good. So I hope you can sense that energy. So let's step into what I did for the past three. I'm on a separate part of the protocol now because my thyroid basically has returned to normal. My adrenals are still recovering, but I'm being very mindful of that. But for those 3 months, we talked about the foods you remove, and I was doing a decent amount of dairy, so that was challenging. Grains, they were already gone for me, so grains weren't difficult at all. Didn't eat a whole lot of legumes. I didn't eat a whole lot of nuts and seeds either, so it wasn't that challenging for me, whereas I know a majority of people out there do a lot of those foods, including grains, including wheat, and then dairy. Eggs, it wasn't, I mean, I enjoy eggs and they're very beneficial to me. So removing them, it just sucked because I just like them and I like to add the additional protein. Chocolate as far as dark chocolate, cacao is what I use. Those, and that wasn't hard again, it's just something I enjoy. But I value feeling better over enjoyment from the short burst of enjoyment from foods. So that said, I'm probably a unicorn in a sense. I'm just one of those people that can lean into the thing, and I do actually love the foods that I'm eating. It's not like every day I'm like, oh, this again. I basically eat the same thing 3 times a day. I'm eating 3 meals a day when I was doing the autoimmune, focusing on protein heavy. I'm about 185 pounds, so I'm getting a gram of protein per pound of body weight. A lot of ground beef. I was really leaning into, so my gut was pretty tore up. I couldn't even do cruciferous vegetables. So the broccoli, the cauliflower, it was not sitting well. Brussels sprouts, so I had to remove that. So I had an even more limited diet. And the grains, another piece is white rice. So white rice is another thing along with that. So, and I'm trying to maintain calories. So I know I'm setting it up like this is some daunting thing, but remember, the pot of gold at the end of this rainbow is healing, and the healing energy that you will get from this, it's amazing. Like just regaining the ability of your body to function properly. So a lot of ground beef, a lot of squash, olives, avocados. So it's very animal based at this point, as far as a lot of beef, a lot of fruits like the squash, avocados, olives. I was doing a lot of plantains, dark green plantains. I was doing them many different ways. I have a plantain pancake recipe. If you are all interested, message me. I'll hook you up. But I was doing that. But just most recently, I'm just boiling plantains. Put a little coconut oil in there. Put a little coconut, shredded coconut, a little cinnamon, a little salt, and that was helping me to stay full in a sense of continuing to maintain my calories. So you got to play around with it, but your options are a little more limited, but this is where folks that do eat animal foods, you have a lot more options, because you can do, look for your grass-fed beef, any beef product, free range, organic chicken, salmon, sardines, pork, same as the chicken. Just be mindful of the pork. There's just a lot of crap they put in pork, so be careful with that. And yeah, there's options, but doing high protein just keeps you satiated. Trying to maintain your calorie, as I've spoken in many other channels here, energy. It's an energy balance too. You're going to need the energy to heal. So getting proper nutrition through calories as well. And it's meal timing. Just getting on a routine, not eating 3 hours before bed, creating opportunities, to align your gut microbiome so you can start repairing, rebuilding, and reintroducing. And then the reintroduction phase is on the other side. That's when you start bringing these foods back in. That's something that I would urge you to spend more time researching. This is something that I can have a conversation with you about. This video would be much, much too long if I dove too far into it. And the side piece, again, I talked food today, and I had mentioned before the strategies is be mindful of where you're at in your journey. Because again, I had adrenal stuff going on too, so I had to eliminate some stressors on my body. Cold therapy, heat, excessive HIIT workouts at the gym. So I had to be really mindful, and it really made a huge difference. So I give a lot of thanks again to Christopher Blakesley. He's no longer accepting one-on-one clients, but I'd be more than happy to walk people through a lot of the steps that I learned from him and to help you at least begin your journey. But just know there's options. Just know that you can do this, and I will be sending more tips on talking about a lot of things related to this and other chronic illnesses, because I always said before I quit drinking, I was sick of being sick, and I was chronically ill on many other levels. I wasn't diagnosed with anything, but I had a lot going on, and I just didn't feel good. And I think there's a lot of you out there that feel the same way. And it starts with making those choices and drawing a line in the sand and saying, I want to feel better. And just know you're not alone. Just know there's people like me out here to support you. So be good. Till next time, I might just do one last additional video on this topic just to kind of wrap it all up with a nice little bow. But take care. Health Coach Burr. Be good.